So this episode of The Handmaid's Tale is literally called After. And usually in shows when you have such an epic moment, like the explosion happen, the next episode they don't even address it, and they kind of either go full backstory episode, or they go maybe to a place like the colonies whole episode and don't even talk about what's going on in the other location. What I loved about this episode is they got right into it, and the episode's literally called After, so it shows you what happened right after this attack happens. And I thought, if you saw my last review, that everybody in that building died and a bunch of handmaids got away. I was wrong. To me, the imagery looked like that. Not the case. I'm not going to nitpick something like that in a show. If they wanted for dramatic effect to look cool and maybe not show us how some of these people survived, I get it. I'm happy Commander Waterford is alive. He's a great character. Just put a smile on my face. I thought he was dead for sure. But Commander Price, who Nick talked to, did kick the bucket. So that's very important because Nick told him all that stuff. And now that is basically useless. And now we really go into this new big villain, Ray Cushing, who I really enjoyed here. He made Commander Waterford seem like chopped liver. This guy is a tyrant. He lays down the hammer, and he does not give a crap about anything except upholding his law. I mean, that was absolutely brutal with the Marthas being shot in the street. And the most awesome imagery in this episode, maybe in the season for me, was them driving back into Gilead and seeing in all the houses the regular people of Gilead, commanders, wives, being hung outside their house. This guy hung everyone who is even any way related to any handmaids that were actually at the scene of the attack. That is gruesome. That is pure evil. And when you add a big villain like this into a show, it's always something exciting and really brings the stakes up even higher. So I can't complain about that. I'm going to get back to his story though in a second with Serena Joy and Waterford, but I want to address how happy I was we got a Moira backstory episode, and it was fantastic. Samira Wiley, the actress of Moira, is always a treat to watch. She kills it here. And this backstory was so necessary for her because I feel like we haven't touched base with her in the sense of really learning about her in a long, long time. I mean, before this episode, we only seen her for like 2 scenes. So we learned she's a baby donator, and she's saying how much she's making doing that. Getting a huge payday. Literally $250,000 for that. And I love the contrast she has with June in the past and how they really are best friends, but they see marriage as a totally different thing and raising a kid is a totally different thing. And how much of a relatable storyline this is to a lot of people in society, where you have best friends that have completely different views on this stuff and they kind of butt heads. That's why I thought the scene was so effective when they were in that class with pregnant woman, and Moira just snaps at June. It's like, don't throw your perfect marriage in my face. That threw me off guard too. I was like, whoa, Moira got feisty, and I liked it. But it also showed how good of a friend June was, where June explained it's not perfect. Don't be envious of what we're doing. I didn't try to make it seem like that to you. And she admits that it is a flawed thing. And I thought that was really awesome that the two of them could see eye to eye on different beliefs they had about all of it. And I had a feeling we were going to meet who this fiance was of Moira, and that it was going to be the doctor right when they introduced her. I just had that feeling, and it turned out to be the doctor. And I thought that was such a great scene. I actually teared up a little bit when she was talking to her outside, and she's like, you don't have to call me by my doctor's name. Because the way the actress of Moira portrays her facial expressions and how she can adjust in a moment's notice to being this person who has a strong guard up and then kind of loosening up and smiling a bit. I don't know. The performance was just excellent to me, and I think they underutilized her in the show a bit, so it was good to see her in this episode be focused on. And this goes back to my point, too, about people who gave me a lot of crap for not liking the Emily-centric episode. My problem with the Emily episodes is it doesn't connect to Waterford. If Waterford is the main character of the show, you got to give me some kind of connection all around. I feel like shows fall in a trap when they just let everybody have their own stories that aren't connected to the central character story or the central purpose of the show. And I believe that this shows you how good an episode can be if you focus on characters like her instead of an Emily. I see a lot of people like Emily. I don't see the reasoning behind this. Where do you feel any connection from her before this season and then they go into her backstory that I just did not care about? I feel like this episode proved my point that no, there's better people to be going to their backstory for that connect everything and wrap it around with more meaning and connection, and not for filler. But this episode was beautiful to me. I mean, just seeing Moira open that binder and see her fiance died and start crying, oh my god, brutal. Again, tearing up here. I don't think I've teared up at anything this season, but this was getting me. I thought it was really interesting too, and I kind of got where Luke was coming from, not wanting to look in the binder. It's another debate people have. Do you look or you just hold out faith? See if your loved one's alive. I mean, I'm curious what you guys think. Comment below on that. Would you guys look in the binder or would you not? If you knew you lost somebody, don't know if they're alive or not, do you just go right for the answer? You just kind of have that optimistic take and don't want it yet? I think I'd open the binder immediately. And everything with the handmaids was really good too. We got to connect with all our original handmaids. I thought the opening scene was such an awesome sequence where they're all in black. You get the black bonnets on. I gotta get myself one of those. Definitely jumping on Amazon for that. It was a very cool look, and they cover their faces, and it's snowing out. Really awesome scene. And then what got me really emotional here was them introducing their real names to each other. This worked great, and it connected so well because they're showing in Canada them announcing the names of the handmaids that died in a heroic act. And it was so symbolic and connected so well because it was just showing you too how important your name is as a person, your identity. Not letting yourself be dehumanized to just a product or a slave or a handmaid or anything like that. It is so important who you are. And them saying their names to each other was a big win. That was something, it was like a reminder, like, let's not forget where we came from, who we are as person, that we're not falling down this rabbit hole, that we're still these people, and we're gonna fight. Really, really good. The way that whole scene was shot, too, is just awesome. Now, back to the whole Waterford, Serena Joy, and Ray Cushing conflict. I love the accuracy of actually showing Waterford being more pregnant this episode and getting a little bigger. A lot of shows shy away from this now, pregnancies. Like, they'll say a character's pregnant in a show, and they never look more pregnant. I'm talking about you, Walking Dead. I know I like to throw a lot of disses there, but it's a good comparison because that show shows you exactly what you don't want to start doing in a show. And the character Mag, if you watch, gets pregnant and just stays the same weight the rest of the show. So this show didn't shy away from that. But of course, they had to throw a creepy Commander Waterford line in again where he's like, wow, you're even more pregnant. And that's the first thing he says when he sees June. And she's just like, Elisabeth Moss's face is perfect. Just like, oh my God. Like, it really is a fetish this guy's got going. And it's, oh man, he is such a character to see on screen. I can't even figure out Commander Waterford at this point. So Waterford has the move of the episode here, and maybe her smartest thing I think I've ever seen her done, because a lot of people can complain that she makes a lot of stupid decisions, but now she's really thinking on her toes. And for her to say to Serena Joy, Ray Cushing executed Offalen's household. Don't think he's not coming for you, because he was questioning me about how I got away and who I was involved with. That got Serena Joy. This finally woke up Serena Joy a bit and put her in her place. That she's just as vulnerable in this crazy society she built up. And what confirms where Serena Joy's head's at when she gets this news is that great line she says where Ray Cushing with the death of us all. So you're seeing now, she's not even a fan of this guy, Ray Cushing, at all. And she says back in the day, at even like dinner parties they had, that this guy was a nightmare. So now we're seeing big villains butt heads a bit, and he's trying to take over because Commander Waterford is out of business at the moment. But Serena Joy, my favorite character, kills it again. And I actually rooted for her in this episode, and she becomes like a Cersei Lannister here from Game of Thrones. That weird feeling you're like, wow, Serena Joy's such a bad person, she's a villain, but why am I rooting for her like crazy in this episode? I was so happy to see her sit in that chair of Commander Waterford. You see how much she liked it. And she put her foot down, goes to Nick, gets a warrant out for Ray Cushing, and then all the Guardians come out and get Ray Cushing, so it's going to be interesting to see what they do with him. I don't want him to go away completely yet, because he is a big, big villain that's interesting. So I don't want them to rush out of that yet, but it's cool that Serena Joy, again, put her foot down, taking over, going rogue from her husband, too. He's just in the hospital bed. She's like, I'm making the calls now. I don't need his signature. I'm just going for it. Going in his office, she's doing what she's wanted to do. And then we get that great moment where she says to Waterford, you were an editor, right? And she gives Waterford her whole law book to edit and look over. What a phenomenal scene, and it's a promotion for Waterford. This is one of those scenes where you're like, you don't even know how to feel. If you were in Waterford's shoes, what is this? Is Serena Joy finally being nice for real here? Because this doesn't even have to do with the baby. This is maybe something she can work with, Waterford. Is she going to work with Serena Joy in a way that will eventually take Serena Joy down, too? Because Waterford's getting good at playing that game. This could be her key to a lot of stuff, especially if she's getting a promotion, especially if she's getting trust to be an editor of these very important documents. Maybe this gets her out of being a handmaid. She can save the other handmaids. We'll see. But I really like this twist here. And I've come to the conclusion that any scene with just these two actresses together, Yvonne Strahovski and Elisabeth Moss, are my favorite scenes. It is a lesson in acting watching these two on screen together. When you get two amazing performances happen at once like this, you have to take it in, people. This is the golden age of TV. Enjoy it. Enjoy these scenes. I feel like just watching back all of them, they're so well done, so good, and I feel like scenes that will live on. And I mean that in the sense just of acting on tape. It doesn't get better than this. This was a beauty of an episode where our last episode was more exciting, had the big bang, it had more action. This one was more symbolic, a lot of imagery here. Really made me feel very emotional, and every note was hitting. And I'm happy Janine and Emily got out of the colonies. I hate that storyline, so I'm happy to see them as handmaids again. which is funny to say because it's actually a better thing to be in than the awful colonies. So I wonder what they're even going to do with the colonies if we're even going to go back there. Maybe to see June's mom, but I would be happy if we don't go back to that area. I just didn't think it worked. Maybe them going back that quickly realizes that. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens, but I'm happy that they're back. This has been 2 excellent episodes back to back. I'm giving this episode a 9. Really enjoyed it. Please let me know what you thought down below. I'm loving the comments. I respond to everybody, so let me know what you have to say. Did you like this episode? Did you not? Any theories you got? And thank you again. Loving the compliments for the outfit. Keep them coming. I need the ego boost. I take pride in what I wear. Someone called me a hand man the last video. Best comment. So I'm your hand man here. So you gotta subscribe to see more of it. My review of each episode drops right after the episode airs. So you don't want to miss one. Please subscribe. And I'll see you next time.